Hey, Brian Manning here. Noah Dalzell alongside the Celtics. Avoid a late collapse against the Nuggets, up 20 in this game, and come through in crunch time with some big Derek White plays, as well as an Al Horford throwback performance. That was great to watch in this game. The defense strong against Nikola Jokic. They held down Jamal Murray early, and overall just managed a Nuggets team that gave them trouble even last year. Well in this game, enough to make you think that if this does end up becoming the finals, the Celtics, even down 2 players in this game, no Porzingis, no Holiday again, have the ability to at least control and get by, gain the game in this matchup. But it would be a difficult matchup, as you saw today.
Yeah, I have confidence in this team versus the Nuggets. I think it's one of the better matchups of the elite teams in the league, but you have a healthy amount of respect and fear for any team that Jokic is on, and also recognizing the fact that Jamal Murray can be a good guard, or he could be one of the most elite guards, depending on how his health is and his confidence and his rhythm. And
he didn't do anything.
Yeah, I think looking at first half Jamal Murray, I feel great about that team. Second half Jamal Murray, you remember why the Nuggets kind of coasted to a championship in 2023. So I would love to see this matchup. I think the Celtics would be favored. I feel like they would have the advantage in most ways. But while they were down a few players, I do feel like Aaron Gordon being out is also such a big piece of what makes the Nuggets work that it was a little bit hard to assess how these two teams match up. But generally speaking, there are things to exploit about Denver that are very obvious. And some of the other contenders have some fewer flaws on their rosters and in their games.
Yeah, you saw it in this game, the non-Jokic minutes. They win those at the start of the fourth. Luring Russell Westbrook in the jump shots, something that worked great for them early on in this game with Luke Cornett on him. And then you're able to just control everybody else for the most part. Murray got going later. Brown was incredible, Christian Brown, but Celtics just look like a better team right now, top to bottom, depth-wise. Both teams missing guys. Celtics able to get more depth performances here. So I've been down on Denver this year. I didn't like the roster coming into the year. I don't like the young guys off their bench. Too reliant on Jokic all the way down the line. They've been great. I think they had a massive win streak in February. Murray was awesome in that month. And they're top 3 in the West. So you have to consider them among the teams that could come out of there. But when I'm stacking up my top 3 teams that would be the most difficult for Boston out of the West, obviously the Thunder headline it. They've been every bit the team we thought they would be this year, and they're coming here in a few weeks after smoking the Celtics earlier this season, so we'll be interested to watch that. Memphis, there's some issues there and some questions, but they came in here and had an impressive win as well. The Celtics going to play them at the end of March. I definitely throw them up there. And then you do have to start to think about the Lakers, who are going to be here on Saturday. I don't believe in them. I have even more questions about them than I do Memphis or Denver, but they just keep winning every game. And, Reeves got banged up. Rui's going to miss some time here, so we'll see who's actually here on Saturday. But that is another team that just completely devastated the Celtics out there in LA when they played last. So that's going to be my big 3 right now when I look out west.
And it's funny because a big part of that was Anthony Davis's defensive impact. And I remember thinking, wow, what a game changer he is. And then they've actually been better defensively without him. One of those stats that just doesn't make sense, but it just is true.
And we're talking 20 games where they've been on fire now.
Yeah, right. So I definitely think that I take the Lakers seriously. Also, the level that LeBron is playing right now, near the top of the league. Luka has not found a rhythm yet in LA, and he's going to find one. He's been shooting 37% since he got there, something in that range. And he's not going to be shooting at that level throughout the rest of the spring. So they're a scary team. Memphis scares me less. I just don't think they have enough, and I think that a team headlined by, if John Morant's your best player, that's putting you in a tough spot. He's dealt with a lot of injury-related concerns too. It's going to be hard for him to get through. He's one of those guys that's like an X factor if he can stay healthy throughout an entire playoff run.
Remember what they did here, though. That was a great win for them.
That was a great win for them. That was also, I think they had played 5 games in 6 nights, the Celtics, and so I felt like it was more on their end that they came out just really flat than anything Memphis forced them into. But again, respect for Memphis, respect for LA. Denver, I still would be above both of those two teams. I think
so they're in your top 3, Denver?
I would say Oklahoma City is number 1 right now as far as Western Conference opponents for the Celtics. Denver's number 2. They have the championship experience, so you have to recognize the fact that they've been there before. We don't know how, Memphis has never made a deep playoff run, so I can't compare them to Denver, which has been there. And Jokic is just going to be a nightmare. He was relatively quiet tonight. He honestly looked a little bit beat up. I don't know.
He talked about it. He said he's been beat up for a long time, but you could see it in this one.
Yeah, he looked a little bit slow. So I think, they're in a different class to me, Oklahoma City and Denver. And then the next tier would be Memphis and LA. right now, but we'll see how I feel in a couple weeks when they face both of those teams again.
I'm always curious about the Clippers too, but you just never believe that they can stay healthy and together for the full season. And I think the Lakers just beat them pretty handily too. So they're in that next tier of teams that you probably don't see coming out of the West. But there's a lot of great teams out there. Always a lot of surprises too. Dallas, do they come together? They played a good game against Boston here as well. So none of us expected Dallas to come out last year of the group and the teams that we were considering there. But I think Oklahoma City, Memphis, Denver, and the Lakers now up there too. Any Rockets love? Probably not.
I don't see them making the finals. I could see them being a just
Any
terrible.
one of these teams could win.
I don't think anybody wants to see the Rockets in a playoff series. Honestly, yeah. I mean, the West is such an interesting conference right now, just because the Lakers and the Warriors I both kind of discounted, and I think these midseason trades just give them new life. And clearly, with Jimmy Butler, the Warriors have been so much better.
I don't think the Warriors are
I don't think they're going to make the finals, but Dallas is the one I will say. Maybe I'm overrating Anthony Davis, but I'm a big believer in him as a player.
I was where you were when the deal happened, like maybe, but
but he's just hurt. But if they're all healthy, I think that we're thinking about this team as a unit a lot better. And it's not just him; they've just had ridiculous injury luck this season. So they're out of my mind right now. But if they were all healthy, they'd be up there as far as opponents.
It's a good conversation. Celtics going to see some more West teams coming up, namely that Oklahoma City matchup next week. Going to be really fun here. But first, it's Portland, who the Celtics haven't seen yet this year. Hope Robb can go. Don't know anything about that yet. But it could be his first game against the Celtics here. Front of him back-to-back. Might have practice on Tuesday. We'll see how Drew's doing. We got an update on him today as well. We talked about him yesterday, and I don't think too many of our thoughts have changed. So go check out that video and go check out his comments before the game on that finger. Feels like he's going to miss some time here, but no surgery for Drew Holiday. For Noah Dalzell, I'm Bobby Manning. Celtics beat the Nuggets here and end that little 2-game skid they were on. We'll see you here on Wednesday. Again, Celtics Blazers, and then Celtics Philly back-to-back on Thursday. Talk to you then. Support our sponsor, Prize Picks. Use code CLNS to get $50 when you put your first $5 lineup.